Kate, and I'm going to be making pierogies today. First, we're going to start off with our dough. We're going to add 2 cups of flour and a half a teaspoon of salt to the mixing bowl. Next, we're going to add 1 egg into the mixture. And then you're going to mix. Next, you're going to add 4 tablespoons of soft butter and half a cup of sour cream. Then you're going to mix it all up and it should be really clumpy. Once you've mixed your dough and it's really clumpy, you can start kneading with your hands now. I'm going to dump mine on the counter. And you're just going to combine with your hands and get it all into one big clump and try not to add any more flour right now. Once you've mixed the dough and it looks like this and it's no longer sticky, you're going to put it back in the bowl, cover it with saran wrap, and then you're going to put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes to let it rest. Now that our dough is resting in the fridge, we're going to make our filling. So we're going to take our potatoes, 3 small potatoes, and we're going to peel them and then dice them into even cubes, and we're going to put them in a bowl. Now that you've peeled and cut all your potatoes, we're going to rinse them. I put my rinsed potatoes in this pot and covered them with water, and now I'm going to boil them on medium to high heat for about 10 minutes or until fork tender. Now that your potatoes are cooked, you're going to strain them and then transfer them to another bowl. And now we're going to make mashed potatoes. What I like to do is I like to season with salt and pepper to taste. And then for extra creamy mashed potatoes, you're going to add about a little tablespoon of butter and then a splash of milk. And then we're going to mash it all up. Now that your mashed potatoes are done, we're going to add our shredded cheese. This is going to be sharp cheddar and it's going to be a 1-to-1 ratio. So I have a little more than a cup of mashed potatoes, so I'm going to add a little more than a cup of shredded cheese. Now that your mashed potatoes are all combined with the cheese and the cheese is kind of melted and your potatoes are a little cooler, you're going to set that to the side, and now we're going to roll out our dough. First, I'm going to cut it in half and then I'm going to roll out half of it so it's easier to work with. And try not to use a lot of flour in this step, but if it does get sticky, then you can use some flour. Now that we've rolled our dough out into about an 1/8 of an inch thick, we're going to use a 2-inch round circle and we're going to cut circles into the dough. And then you're going to use the excess dough and you're going to put it with the other half of dough and you're going to roll it out and do the exact same thing until you have no dough left. So we're going to take the cup and you're going to cut through and so you have a little circle like this, and then you're going to put it aside. Now that you've rolled and cut out all your tiny circles, I'm going to put about a little spoonful of filling onto each pierogi, just like that. Now you've put the amount of mashed potatoes you want on each little pierogi. You're going to take it and you're going to fold over the dough until it looks like this, and then you're going to take a fork and you're going to close it all around the sides so that it won't open back up. And then it's going to look like this. Now that you've made all your little pierogies, they should look like this. And then the next step is to cook them in boiling water. So while our water is boiling, we're going to cut up our onion for the last step. And right now you're just going to slice your onion into thin slices. Now that you've sliced up your onions and shed a couple tears, you can put your onions to the side for the last step. And your water should be about boiling by now. Now that our water is done boiling, you're going to take our pierogies that we made earlier and you're just going to drop them in and make sure not to touch them together or they will stick. And you're going to cook them for about 3 to 5 minutes each batch or until they float. Now that all your pierogies are cooked, into a skillet you're going to add our sliced onion that we sliced earlier and 4 tablespoons of butter. And you're going to saute those until they're brown and like wilted cooked. Once your onions have a little color on them and they're kind of wilted, you're going to take your pierogies and just lay them down in there to brown a little bit. Tossing them around and flipping them and making sure you don't burn them. And when they're done cooking, they should look like this. You can enjoy them plain or traditionally, they're dipped in sour cream. Enjoy!